fight for their liberation.
GW Apparel, a clothing that speaks. Something for the kings, something for the queens. Visit uptsites.com and use promo code SLDG22 and receive 11% off your order. Peace.
It's the Ticket Plug. We've been running an online ticket business for over a decade, and now we've created an easy way for you to do the same thing through our private ticket resale community. Joining our community will give you a way to flip your bread and generate profit income consistently. We provide you with all the tools, training, and resources needed to start your life-changing online ticket business. Zero experience needed. To join our ticket resale community, go to thetickettrap.com. Again, go to thetickettrap.com. That's thetickettrap.com.
The Master's Table by DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love to God, now playing on the internet's #1 destination for true hip-hop. Introducing truthhiphop.com, a meticulously curated platform designed for connoisseurs seeking a superior quality of hip-hop. Immerse yourself in an unparalleled experience of 100% bar-heavy, authentically crafted, real hip-hop. Discover the essence of the genre, reminiscent of its golden era, now playing exclusively at truthhiphop.com.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.
Allah in the person of Sincere Love to God.
That mean they arms too short like tall Anthony Shaw. Back in the house once again. What's going on, family? What is good? Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. I am the God Sincere Love, and I am here with my lovely co-host, Nicety Girl, and this is the brand new season of the Black Business Showcase. We've been doing this for a while. I don't even know what season this is. What season?
Oh man, I don't know what seasons, but it's year 3.
Right.
Oh wait, are we going into year 4? I feel like we're going into year 4 just later on in the year, but we're hitting 4 years this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Indeed. So I think this is the 3rd season.
Yeah.
It might be legit the 4th season, because remember we did the
FBA Expo special edition.
Yeah.
And that kind of went a while.
Right.
Because we interviewed so many people. So yeah, we're like in season 4.
Right.
Turn up the
Man, but we are back with a new season of the Black Business Showcase, ladies and gentlemen. This is our weekly series where we bring on business owners and entrepreneurs and chop up good game about business. We got a lot of new viewers and subscribers since the last time that we've had an episode of the Black Business Showcase. So a lot of y'all are new to this series right here, man. But this is our renowned series, man. A lot of people like the Black Business Showcase because you get a chance to see who's who doing what and where out here. And you know what I'm saying? When it comes to doing business, good business with other Black folks, you know, seeing who we need to be supporting, who we need to be networking with, so on and so forth. And we've had some great guests, you know, over the years.
Yeah,
so y'all gotta go back through the archives and check out some of these interviews, man. We got a lot of good game on this series right here.
Definitely. And Black businesses from all over the country, basically, you know, in the States, of course, not just here in LA where I'm from and where you are in Atlanta / New York, but all over the place. So definitely check out the archives. You know, there's lawyers there if you need, you know, an attorney for, you know, your business, because she is more of a business / estate planning type of attorney, but definitely Candace. Who else do we have on here? Let's go back. We had a doula, you know, for those that need a doula. She actually travels. Just
all type of
Brother
food
Ben
and beverage
you all know
people.
him. Yes.
Right. Yes. People into e-commerce, online business owners. The Ticket Plug was on here. You know, the very first episode was with our sister by nature, Sister Colette, who teaches survival skills and how to can food and preserve food for a long time and stuff like that. Our brother brother Daniel, who teaches
yeah.
people about survival skills as well with the radios and all of the equipment and stuff that you need,
Yes.
in case of a disaster and all that, the disaster preparedness and stuff like that. We've had, financial advice, people giving good financial advice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Crypto, we covered
Definitely crypto.
a lot of different areas. A lot of different areas.
The artist Gemini, crypto queen herself has been on here. So yeah, we have had several great guests, and we will continue to bring you guys more and more. And I thank you guys that have been down with us for the last 4 years. We appreciate you.
Authors. We had Dr. Kaba on here.
Oh yes, Lord.
You know what I'm saying?
Cabernet,
Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta check it out. If y'all not up on the Black Business Showcase, man, y'all gotta go in them archives and do your due diligence. And if you are a business owner, entrepreneur, author, inventor, anything of the sort, and you would like to be featured on the Black Business Showcase, send us an email, godcastenterprises@gmail.com. Let us know what you got going on so we can get you on the schedule for the new season of the Black Business Showcase.
Or you can hit me in the DM, hit Sincere in the DM, and we will respond to those as well. So hit us up.
Yes, indeed. And so, today is no exception. We're going to have another dynamic guest for y'all today.
Yes.
And so let me let y'all know who we got coming to the set, man. We got a good brother. Actually, I'm gonna let Nicey, do a little intro for our guest today.
I'd rather you do it.
Oh, okay. Well, we got a good brother. You know what I'm saying? Multifaceted brother. You know what
Definitely.
I'm saying? He's a barber out there in LA. You know what I'm saying?
Orange County.
What's the difference? I don't know. What's the difference?
So there's LA County and then there's Orange County. He's in the Orange County area. But not far from LA. So I don't want to make it seem like it's ancient and far away or anything like that. He's still local,
You know what? I be forgetting that LA is a county. I always think of LA as a city
and county.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, okay, all right, got it. Out there on the West Coast, making it do what it do. And our brother is also a podcaster.
Yes.
So we got the podcast, the Real Ops Podcast, and that's where he is putting forth the effort of turning the idea of opposition into opportunities. So it's about mindset shifting, you know what I'm saying? And of course, like I said, as a barber, he's always trying to continue to create great work through sources of inspiration. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce to you our guest for this evening, my brother Double R Blend, Mr. Royce. What's good, King? Welcome to the Godcast.
Peace, man. I'm glad y'all having me. It's a blessing to be here, man. I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you coming on. You know that.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. And we've been tapped in online for a good minute. Came across you and the tribe, you know what I'm saying? The digital real estate, ABS tribe and all of that. You know what I mean? Been watching you do your thing for a minute. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to finally have you on the platform, brother. Welcome.
Man, I appreciate it. Yeah. Like Sincere said, we met this bro on the pod. I remember you first talking about even doing your podcast, man. So, salutes, big hats. It's full circle. You know what I'm saying? Full circle to be here. So, indeed.
Yes, indeed. And so for everybody who is unfamiliar with you, we like to get into the origin story with our guests. So take us back. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And I guess we could start. We'll start off with how you got into the barber business.
Man, I got into this game just cutting hair in high school. You know what I'm saying? Back in the city, it was just something. I got tired of pops giving me that bowl cut back in the day when the bowl was in. You know what I'm saying? So, like most people, I started with the Walmart set, and I was on the ball team, so I was cutting cats on the team. And basketball. And when I graduated, man, like a lot of us, I was chasing the ball, but I knew that wasn't what I really wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? So I got a job working at UPS while I was going to school, playing a little ball or whatever. But I just realized that wasn't really for me. You know what I'm saying? I was chopping it up with my cousin. He was already a barber in the city, like 3 years older. And I used to go to the shop and all that, you know. And one day I was just leaving his house, and he was like, "Man, you should stop by the school and see what it's about." So no lie, I stopped at the school on a Saturday, and I was enrolled on Tuesday, and I went 11 months straight without missing a day and hopped right in the game because it was something that was just, it was, I already had a knack for it. It gravitated, it pulled me in. You know what I'm saying? So, and shit, here we are. I got my license in 99.
Wow.
99. So, I mean, not just barbering, but amongst other things, I've been a barber instructor for 13 years. You know what I mean? I started off in at a Healthy Hair Crenshaw and what's that? Crenshaw Imperial in Inglewood. You know what I'm saying? Just learning how to instruct, and then, you know, been in and out the game for some time, man. But yeah, this always been my go-to, you know, amongst some other things that I've done. But yeah, barbering, it's been good to me.
Right. It's
Yes,
your purpose.
indeed.
My son's first haircut was at the New Millennium on Crenshaw.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the. I always wonder how they did it, you know, because down there in Crenshaw, they got so many shops that share a wall. Literally, they wall to wall next door to
Right.
each other,
Really?
and they lined up. And that, when I seen that, that let me know it's somebody for everybody.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? It's somebody for everybody. So you don't never have to feel like, you know, limited in the game. The game is plentiful for sure.
Right,
sure.
right. That's
sure.
that scarcity mindset.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, man, that's you know, for those that don't know, I'm a barber as well. I started cutting hair in 99. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
That's right.
Only difference is I didn't have no knack for it. I was trash when I started cutting hair.
At least you're honest.
I was trash when I started cutting hair, man. For me, you
You was
know,
giving
it
the
was
tether
just
cuts.
yeah, it might have been a little worse than that, to be honest. It took me a while to get good, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I was just trying to find a way to stay out of trouble at the time. I was on parole, you know, and I needed to, you know, tell my PO that I had a job, and you know, that was the easiest thing for me to get into. But you know, so did you think that you would still be cutting hair, you know, almost 30 years later? Did you, when you first got into it, did you think, you know, it was gonna be that long term?
Nah, not going in. I thought this was just something to do to where I could generate some, you know what I'm saying, some movement for myself without having to work for somebody else, and buy me time to be able to figure out, you know what I'm saying, what other things it was that I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? But I done did some of everything, man. Like what is it? I got ASCs and mechanics. Like, I don't know if y'all know what that is. Automotive service. Like when you go to the spot, you see the ASCs on the patches on the mechanics. Automotive service excellence. I got GM Good Wrench training. I did that for 12 years. You know what I'm saying? Wrenching on cars. And then, you know, I was just working barbering part-time when I was doing that. So, I mean, to look back now, I never thought I would still be doing it today. But I mean, the game has changed a lot. I started off doing $8, $10, and $12 cuts.
Right.
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 You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I remember, man. And so so you already had a knack for, you know, you kind of had skills, you know, practicing on yourself, practicing on the teammates and stuff like that. How about the business side of it? Because a lot of people do look at getting in the barber game as the freedom aspect, you know, being your own boss and, you know, not having, you know, nobody supervising you, making your own schedule and stuff like that. A lot of people like that aspect of the game, but don't really understand, you know, what it means to be your own boss and, you know, the diligence that has to go into it to, you know, operate as a business and a professional. So did it take you a while to acclimate to that side of the game, or how did you learn that?
Well, I could say pretty much my mom's gave me that game because she was an entrepreneur herself. I was born into like a family daycare. She had her own daycare preschool. So growing up, I mean, she would have me do paperwork for her, crystal stairs, food programs, stuff like that. So it was she always kept me, you know what I'm saying, up to speed as far as like the discipline that's required. You know what I'm saying? She would always tell me, this is all on me. If I don't do this, I don't get paid. If I don't show up on time, you know, so there were certain things that I feel like I kind of picked up. Of course, it was trial and error because it's a whole different realm from the daycare business where you're getting a check from the state as opposed to we behind the chair selling ourselves basically. So, but yeah, that was something that it took a little while to kind of figure it out under the realm of barbering. But I mean, I kind of had a little insight going in to some of the cheat codes just from being independent and working for myself. So I mean, it didn't really take long.
Dope. And so the transition into becoming an instructor, talk a little bit about that.
Well, let me see. I was bouncing back and forth from working on the cars, and I was kind of tired of cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to stay under that umbrella, but I didn't necessarily want to be holding the clippers all day. So one of my boys, man, he seen a fly on an old light pole one day. He brought the fly to the shop. He's like, "Man, I think you'd be good for this." And to be honest, I had never even thought about being an instructor. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, my pops was a teacher. My mom's was a teacher in her own store with the daycare. So I mean, that was something that I found out it was in me. So long story short, I applied for the job. They blessed me with the opportunity. And man, I loved it from day one. You know what I'm saying? I was kind of received well from the people because I was young. You know what I'm saying? So where a lot of times you go to school and instructors are maybe 20, 30 years older. I was the same age as everybody. You know what I'm saying? First day I pulled up in the old school, clean. They thought I was a student. So when I went behind the podium, I'm like, "Hey, how y'all doing, man? I just want to introduce myself. I'm your new instructor." You know what I'm saying? It was kind of love from the jump because they was kind of like, "Damn, you young." You know what I'm saying? So it gave a lot of people vision to want to eventually do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Look past just being behind the chair, whether they was cosmetologists or barbers. So I mean, that's kind of how I got into that. And I took the instructor course, did the 600 hours at the time, got my instructor's license, and from there, that was just another key. You know what I'm saying? Because I was able to maneuver with that in 2 or 3 different cities that I worked in now. You know what I'm saying? So that was a blessing for sure. And like I said, my boy just brought that up on the whim. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing something in me. Hey man, I think you'll be good for this. And shit, I rolled with it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think that as an instructor, do you think that everyone can be taught to be a barber, or does it have to just be in something in you?
I would say it got to be something in you. It's got to be something in you. It don't necessarily have to be like an artistic eye, but it's got to be a certain degree of hustle. It's got to be a certain degree of, you know what I'm saying, of go-getter up in you, or else, you're not going to make it, because some people come in with false expectations. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they just going to come in. They may have seen somebody making good money, but they don't understand the grind. They don't understand that, I worked at 3 shops before I built up a clientele because it just wasn't my fit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's definitely something that you got to have in you. You know what I mean? When you're coming in to be a barber. And it's funny, going back to what Sincere said, because he was saying how he was on parole. It's funny because a lot of the barbers that I would run into, it was kind of like a last chance for them. You know what I'm saying? Some of them had just got out. Some of them was trying to keep from going back in. You know what I mean? Whatever it was. And it was something that they can adapt to. And I always taught on a hustle level. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is your free re-up. You ain't got to go pay nobody to re-up. You plug into the wall and you re-up. You know what I'm saying? You're your own plug in a sense, to where, and they understood that from a hustle standpoint. Like, yeah, I ain't gotta flip this. No, you flipping your mouthpiece. You flipping, you selling yourself in a sense to be able to get these people to gravitate to you and support your business. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's definitely something you gotta have in you.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was going to disagree at first, because like I said, I was trash at cutting hair. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't have that in me. But the side that you speaking about, that is something that I had in me, that hustle and that drive and the tenacity, because, when you don't have the skills like myself, you know what I'm saying? That shit could break you. You know what I'm saying? When you got somebody in your chair and you ain't sure about what you're doing, and you know what I'm saying, you messing with somebody's hairline, you nervous and you sweating and all that. You know what I'm saying? It take a lot to get through all of that. You know what I'm saying? And really, learn it. It really hone the craft. Like, you know what I'm saying? For me, it was grueling in the beginning.
No, I mean, I'm not gonna gas myself up. I had one cut. I had a clean taper. That was it. You know what I'm saying? Starting off, I was still trying to polish the ball fade. I was still trying to get my afro game down. But I could sell you a taper in a minute. You know what I'm saying? The taper was clean because that's what I used to get myself. So, but no, I understand because I had students who would rip cuts and then come back the next day. Oh man, I don't really think this is for me. And I would just have to tell them, it's like putting shots up. The more shots you put up, the more consistent you're going to become. Your percentage will go up. And it's just, I just gave it to them real. You know what I'm saying, man? Everybody starts, as a beginner. Ain't nobody coming here that's like that, because even the people who could cut, they was missing the hustle.
Right.
And the people who, you know what I'm saying? And the people who knew how to hustle, they was missing the actual, polishing of the cut. So I'm like, you just got to look at everybody's at the level, you know what I'm saying, where they prescribe to be coming into the game. So you can't let that deter you. And I mean, it's a blessing because I have a lot of students that still hit me up to this day. Oh man, I'm able to feed my family, you know what I'm saying? Because of the game you gave me, I'm able to, they call me, hey, Mr. Royce, I just opened up another shop. And for me, that's everything. That's everything.
That's
you know what I'm saying? To have that impact and to be able to really say, man, I changed lives. You know what I'm saying? And I was at this one school for 13 years straight. And we had a roster of 180 students at one time. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, so there's so many people that remember me that I don't even remember. You know what I'm saying?
You made an impact on their lives, though. How they see barbering as a business, and now they're able to sustain their own lives and their extended family. So that's dope.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was the biggest reward of it all. You know what I'm saying? Because as an instructor, most people don't know, you make more money as a barber than you do as an instructor. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still going back to that hourly wage. So my last instructor job was 2018. I think I capped off at $40 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Which at that time, that was good change, especially for me being at the age I was at. But when you could go to the shop, you know what I'm saying? Like now I'm charging 40 to 50 a cut. I can knock out 2 cuts in an hour. If I, in them days when I'm rolling, you can't really compare that money to instructor money, especially when you're not getting taxed and you can work the 1099s and the tax forms however you need to write off majority of the stuff to where you can actually keep your money. You know what I'm saying? Because you know how it is. The more you make, the more they take.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, he cuts my son's hair, by the way, but he has such a diverse clientele. Your shop is the first shop that I seen where a black man was cutting other nationalities' hair, and they walking out there with them clean hair, hairlines, and I'm like, dang, like he got it. Like you good, in my opinion. You good when they're over here lined up trying to get in too. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just used to black shops where they cater only to black people. So, I thought that was a good thing in a sense, because when my son came, he was so nervous about, his hairline being pushed back. That was his whole concern. And so, he takes a trip basically to get to Anaheim to get his hairline, lined up from Royce, because he refuses to let someone else touch it now. But yeah, I thought that was interesting to see how diverse his clientele is.
Yeah, that's something I was able to pick up like as an instructor, because going in, I didn't have that straight hair down. You know what I'm saying? But that was something where I had to retrain myself, especially working in Anaheim, because that's what the majority of the people was coming through the door. So that job in Anaheim, in Inglewood at that school, I was good. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you said, traditional black barber school. But once I went to Anaheim, I had to give it one of the Cosmo teachers, the Hispanic Cosmo teacher, and have her tie my shoes up real quick and get my straight hair game. And now it's funny, but I'd rather cut that hair than black hair, just
It's
because
easier.
it's easier and you know what I'm saying, it's faster, and it's just, you know, it's not the same run of the mill. I'm doing a ball fade, I'm doing a taper, you know. It's always a little variation involved when you cutting their hair. So shit.
It
And they
looks
come back,
harder when you
I
doing
mean,
it. It
And
kind
you
of
could
looks
and they
charge
can,
more.
harder.
And you could charge
you
more.
charge more and they come back more frequently because their hair is growing different.
Right.
Their hair is going fast. They getting a razor shave, they used to that skin, they coming back next week. You know what I'm saying? To get that touch up or whatever. So
That's a
yeah,
fact.
yeah.
It looks like it's harder though, because he's like using the clippers and the scissoring and the razor. Like, you know, like I've watched, you know,
Right.
when I'm sitting there waiting or whatever, I'm watching. It seemed like it would be harder, but like you said, I guess not because their hair straight
Some
grows a
people,
different
it,
way.
it, it depends. Some people feel differently, but to me,
Mhm.
it's easier. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's more of a breeze, you know, getting through it. You know what I mean? But the fact that you are, you know, applying more skills, like you said, you got the clippers and you got the scissors, the razor, all that, you know, that brings up the ticket.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
For sure.
that's a good clientele to have. But you know, in my experience, I've always had diverse clientele. You know, people from all different backgrounds want to come get that FBA cut. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from in New York, and you know where I live out here in Georgia, it's always been like that. But you talked about the difference between the game then and the game now. What are some of the major differences that you notice, good and bad? And what kind of game would you give to some people? Well, you're probably the perfect person as an instructor. What kind of game would you give some people just getting into it now?
Well, I'll start off with the game aspect of just getting into it now. Getting into it now, you got to understand that a lot of times there's something about yourself that pulls those people in and that actually retains them because they can be going anywhere for a haircut. So for me, I like to always try to, you know, have some type of impact. I like to always, you know, be personable, give somebody some real game more than just a cut that they can leave with. And then that way it's more of a like a friendship, a family. I'm like a
Yeah.
cousin or something. Somebody you could come to and chop it up. And I think the biggest difference between when I came in and now is just that in itself. A lot of people is they only in it for the money. Like we all in it for the money. Everybody want to eat, but they're only in it for the money. So they'll microwave you. They won't talk to you. They'll, you know what I'm saying? They won't really give you the respect. Like they need your money. They acting like they don't need your money. And I've always been humble enough to let them know, man, I appreciate you. I need this. This is how I'm feeding my family. This is how I'm taking care of the squad because you know what I'm saying? You able to come back and, you know, however often it is and support the business. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where, and I think that's only because of Instagram. Instagram got people
Some
thinking
ads that
you
mix.
can come out of school, you can make $100 a cut, even if you trash. All you got to do is have certain enhancements, ring lights, and all that. And they don't understand. They don't understand a grown man that's been to the shop that's been getting his hair cut all his life. He can feel if you ain't cutting his hair right.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? I used to tell students that all the time. The difference is I can get on somebody's head and they can fall asleep is because they can already feel it. So
Right.
it's nothing to worry about as opposed to as soon as you get on their head, they can feel like the rhythm ain't right. You know what I'm saying? You damn near giving me jabs to the side of the head while you trying to blend me out. And it's all a finesse game. You know what I'm saying? And that goes to the good side of it is that if you have that finesse, you don't have to be the best barber. I know some barbers that ain't. When you look at they cut and compare it on the scale to maybe 10 other barbers, they may be, you know, 2 or 3 from the bottom. But their
Mm.
clientele is above, you know, 80% of the rest of them just because of their mouthpiece and how they finesse and how they treat their people. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And the environment that they create, the aesthetic of the environment that they create when the people come in. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are some keys that, you know, if anybody's tapped in that's a barber is wondering, you definitely gotta, you know, have that in your favor.
That shit is
Yeah.
very true. Everything you just said That's 100% true, man. I had an old school barber from around my way. Cuss wasn't really like that, but he had hella clientele because he know how to deal with people real well. You know what I'm saying? He know how to treat people. You know, he had a good mouthpiece, and his clientele was up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's on point.
And I also think a part of it is like when my son goes to Royce, like he's not there all day. Cause some barbers, at least back when he was younger, you had to just walk in. They didn't do appointments or anything like
I
that.
was gonna
So
ask
when
that.
you got there, I'm saying, you could be there 2, 3, 4 hours just waiting in line, I'm saying, just to get a fade or whatever. So, with Royce, like he does have his calendar and schedule. And even if someone is in the chair when you get there, he's probably like, he times it so well that when you walk in, they're literally getting up and he's like on to, like, he times it perfectly. So if you have something to do, what I'm saying, you can get to it. Like the way, I don't know how you're doing that, but the way that he times everything, like you're not up in there for hours unnecessarily.
You use a booking site?
Yeah, I use a Square app. I use a Square app booking site, and I just have. So what it is, I have my men's cuts at roughly 40 minutes, and then I got the kids at like 30. And I mean, it's one of those things that you can attest to this. Once you know your skill set and your level, like, okay, it's not going to take me more than 45 minutes to knock out this cut and the beard and have him right. And you know what I'm saying? So like she said, if anything, you might be running 2-3 minutes over. But I mean, I always value other people's time because I want them to value my time and don't play with my time. Don't make an appointment. Don't show up. My people know, and they'll call me ahead of time. Hey man, 2-3 hours ahead. Hey, I'm not gonna make it or whatever it may be. Just because I always try my best to have a chair waiting for them. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to,
and they know that could be somebody else's slot.
For sure. Right. For sure.
Yeah.
So
man, that's important.
Now, how would you say social media has helped or harmed your business as a barber? Do you see it growing your business, or you feel like word of mouth is better than social media?
I wouldn't say it's better, but I would say it's pretty much neck and neck because like a lot of people on social media, when they looking at cuts, they just scrolling and they looking at cuts. Very seldom are they looking at a cut that somebody else got and they like, oh, I want to go to that barber. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It happens, but a majority of the time, those type of people like looking at haircuts. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to me running a referral system through the chair, through my people in their ear and let them know, hey, you go back out there, spread the word. I got this for you, whatever it may be, X, Y, and Z. If they refer somebody, 9 times out of 10, they're a client. They become a client. You know what I'm saying? They're going to come back and they're going to keep coming back. And like right now, I was in the barbershop. I owned a barbershop. What was it? It's almost been a year ago now because I'm coming up on a suite that in April, I'll be in the suite a year. But in the barbershop that I was in prior to that, it was that's pretty much was the dynamic how she was explaining before because of the partnership. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what people have to understand. That was something I never wanted to do. That was something that I opted to do because I knew this person, or, there was an ex-student or whatever. But when it came down to the business aspect, lining up, it just didn't line up. The professionalism wasn't on the same standard. So when my people would come, they wasn't used to hearing certain language. They wasn't used to, you know what I'm saying? So that I think that the level of the vibe also has something to do with it because you're not going to be in sync with everybody.
Right.
So being in the spot that I'm in now, and it's funny because the brother that I'm in there with, he was one of my students back in 2013. Wow. So he's
good too.
Yeah. So he's already been groomed to my ways. I planted some of the seeds of his foundation in there. So when it comes to handling business, I have the same like-mindedness with the clientele and just conversation and approach to people. I mean, shit, it's literally like my brother. You know what I'm saying? So we able to, bounce off each other and our clientele. they like the private, intimate setting. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to be in the shop where they gotta walk by 2, 3 people talking about some shit they don't want to hear, excuse me, something they don't want to hear, and they, so that's worked to my advantage. And I only brought that up because I know a lot of people will be like, I want to be a shop owner, I want to be a shop owner. But unless you got that cohesiveness, unless you got, those barbers that have been with each other for a while or something, the shop ain't, as an owner, not as a barber, but as an owner, it's not going to always go how you planned it.
Right. That makes sense.
Man, that's absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? That's the hardest thing to find as a shop owner is a great team. Because like you mentioned earlier, you get some people that could cut good, but they don't have the professionalism. They don't have, the hustle. They're not reliable. You know what I'm saying? Or vice versa. You'll get somebody who's super reliable and, always show up, but they can't really cut like that. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like hard to just find a good team of people that can do both. I know when I first transitioned to Georgia, that was my initial plan because I had my shop in New York. So when I came here, my initial plan was to just build up clientele and then open up a shop. But once I got comfortable, and did end up building my clientele, I was like, I might as well just rent this chair because I ain't trying to go through finding a team like this. Like the guys that I work with now is like, it's perfect. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, to be able to find a group of guys like this, I already know that headache. I ain't trying to go back through that.
Right. I want to talk about the Real Ops your Ops podcast and what inspired the podcast and how did you connect the barbershop to your podcast, because you kind of film in the barbershop. I like that. So can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, that idea just generated from I got my son, he's 21 years old now. But at the time when I was prompted with the idea, it was, we was hearing it everywhere. Oh, I got ops out here, I got ops out here. And him being a football player, I know all his friends, I know, what I'm saying, they call me Pops. So they would come to me and really console with me because a lot of them come from single mothers, it's just their moms. They don't know where their pops at. So they would literally call. I talk to some of them and have heavier conversations with some of them than I do my son. Because it's harder to pull stuff out of him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm Pops. He don't want to tell me everything. But so long story short, that's how I came up with the whole premise of the Real Ops. It ain't no real ops out here. It's the way that y'all thinking. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The mentality and just, the language that you absorbing got you thinking it's really ops out here. You know what I'm saying? And I lived a lifestyle too. I grew up in the streets of Compton. I know what real ops is. You know what I'm saying? And I was trying to get them to understand y'all don't have real ops because nothing is really threatening your life. You put your life in threatening positions, but you don't have nothing really threatening your life except for the way that you think. Because, you following the masses sucked in by Instagram and stuff like that. And as far as the setting of the show, it was more or less just, I wanted to do it in my last location, but it wasn't always kosher just because, the vibration wasn't always right. So being in a more private setting and already having, the brother that I work with, this is something we had talked about before at a previous shop. I mean, it just fit because y'all see the backdrop now. I was just sitting here in front of the camera. That's how I started off, just doing it, just, off the cuff, just coming with, I get an idea from the shop and I'll just pretty much come home and, dissect it and just try to give some people some food for thought, so having somebody else to bounce the ideas off of. And we pretty much, like, no lie, people come into the shop, hey man, what would y'all like to hear about? You know what I'm saying? What are some things y'all struggling with? What are some things that is besides what's always just trending? Because we try not to just jump on the trend. You know what I'm saying? So it's more or less like, what can we dissect that can really give somebody something? So that's pretty much how that was, situated.
I like it. I
Yeah,
think it
yeah.
looked visually, it definitely looks dope, and obviously, the messaging. I look forward to it because sometimes, I personally maybe thinking or feeling or going through something, and I'll turn on my phone, go through Instagram, and one of your shorts will come up, and it's like I needed that. Like it just gave me a different way, a different perspective, you know what I'm saying, or how to think about something. Or it could be something that my son says to me or my daughter said to me, and I'll literally send it to them. Because
Right.
sometimes I'm not able to articulate it right, you know what I'm saying? And as a mom, sometimes we just say things, but you articulate it in a way to, you know, um,
It's well thought
to make
out.
them think. Yeah. So sometimes when I'm having those conversations with them, and then I go on there and I'm like, wait a minute, they just asked me something about that. I gave them the way a mom would talk to them, but let me send them this too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I like it.
No, yeah, that's love. I appreciate that.
Nah, for sure. And so, do y'all have guests on there too?
Not really guess.
Right.
There's a couple of times when I actually like gave the mic to one of my clients or something. You know what I'm saying? And just
Mhm.
I already told them, look, this is the question. I want your feedback on this topic real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I'll kind of put it in as maybe a clip or something. But yeah, that's coming up. I've actually been lining people up. So once I started, it can kind of roll. You know what I'm saying? Roll from there. So yeah, I got some interesting people that I'll be bringing up in the future. You know what I'm saying? And it's all more game related. You know what I'm saying? Like black lawyer, like some of the stuff I was hearing y'all already
Yeah.
showcased. You know what I'm saying? Lawyers. I got some black police officers. I got, you know what I'm saying? Some
Right.
people that that I can sit up there and dissect and make them more personable for people to understand. You know, just how those different realms and stuff work. So yeah, that's definitely coming in the future.
Oh, I was trying to connect Royce and Jamal as well because they both to me similar, have different it's different, but the way that they produce their messaging or whatever is kind of similar. And told them before, I was like, I need y'all to kind of do a little something
Connect the
together. I
dots.
think it'll just be dope. He's from Compton, Jamal's from Long Beach. It would just be great.
Yeah, connect those dots, man.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
lanes, but they both giving
Yes.
game. Both got that OG mentor kind of
Hmm.
demeanor. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And the game is needed. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes.
game is definitely needed out here. And so, I mentioned earlier, you and I came across each other in Brother Ben X's program, the digital real estate, ABS tribe, and all of that. Um, what made you join that program? Like, what were some of your goals getting into that? And what was your experience like from that?
I pretty much got into that just because I felt like I had kind of hit like kind of like a plateau in the game to where I had these clients, but it wasn't really growing. I wasn't really scaling the business. So I pretty much was looking for some game, looking for some insight. I wasn't social media savvy. So there's a lot of things that I wasn't really up on when it came to social media. And I had never did social media because of the lifestyle that I lived. I lived a lifestyle where I wasn't allowed to be on social media, living the biker lifestyle that I was living. So that introduced me into it. It pretty much brought me up to speed because I was so far behind making videos, posting anything, you know what I'm saying? Anything to do with social media and content, I was out the loop. So I found that brother just literally like 2, 3 days after I created a profile. I found him. He sounded interesting, and you know what I'm saying. I pretty much followed from there. So my goal ultimately was to build the business for one, and to just build up the muscle and the mouthpiece to be able to have my own podcast. You know what I'm saying? That ultimately was the goal, to have a podcast, just because I felt like if I could take a piece of teaching from instructing, standing behind a chair, and kind of put that into a platform to where I can just give people insight and give them some game, then I felt like it would be a good podcast. You know what I'm saying? And as far as the topics and everything, y'all know where that came from. I explained a little bit of that. So the ABS tribe, that was pretty much, the launching point into social media and posting and all that stuff to, come into that realm, something that I never messed with before. You know what I'm saying?
Man, me and you got a lot in common, bro. Like listening
You
to your
hadn't messed with it
story,
either,
bro, I was the same way, man. I was the same way. Your story as a barber is very similar to mine. You got 21-year-old son. I got 21, but my son will be 21 in a couple of weeks. And the transition into social media, through the ABS tribe and all of that, like, same thing. Although I wasn't no biker or nothing like that, where, I just didn't know what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? I just
Right.
didn't know, what social media
Right.
was really for. And you know what I'm saying? How
Right.
to, market yourself on social media and use it for business and create a community and stuff like that. I just didn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I
yeah,
didn't
man,
either. I
real
didn't
similar.
either.
Yeah, that's how we start doing what we doing. You
Yeah,
know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing. And, because of Brother Ben, we launched our first children's book
Right.
together, with our sister Crown 808, because of him, like, y'all just do it. What you waiting on, and giving us, a lot of jewels and stuff. And we stepped out on
Mhm.
faith, and our first series, like, I feel like we feel like it was major. The
Right.
sales, for our first one, like, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. And so shout out to the ABS tribe. I was not a part of it, but I guess I am through Sincere and
Yep.
and also, having Brother being on and him talking to us offline helped a lot.
Yep. Yep. So so
Yeah.
so what's next for you, Royce?
What's next for me? Well, I just finished up my my gunsmithing school, man.
Yes, I wanted to talk about
You
that.
said what?
So
Ty told me
gunsmithing.
about that.
Oh,
So I got my certification in gunsmithing and like ballistics. So the next thing I'm gonna be tapping into is my FFL license, and I'm gonna be running like a tactical training school. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome.
And I'll eventually have the credentials to be able to issue people their CCWs out here in Cali, which is something that's it's
I was
it's
gonna say, I know it's a lot of hurdles to that out there in
Man.
California. We've had Redstone Firearms on here as well.
Mhm.
And they was telling us about all the problems they go through with that stuff out there, with the
Only
laws
in
out
LA
there and
County,
everything
by
like
the
that.
way. It's
I thought
really
the
only a
whole
problem in
state.
LA County. It's county.
Mm,
county because
It's
because
county.
it's funny she said that because I live in San Bernardino County now.
Easy
okay.
to
So
get.
it's easy, it's cake. And
Yes.
that was my whole, I'm like, oh, I found a niche in the game because
Mhm.
it's a loophole. If I'm not out there, I can funnel people in a lot easier out here once I get my credentials lined up and I get my USCCA training and all that stuff. Then I can bring people in. And already being in the shop and knowing, just knowing the mentality of the brothers in LA, how they holding, but they ain't holding how they supposed to be.
Mhm.
And it's like, man, let me bring y'all in and make it legit so we can, form like Voltron out here if we need to, and make sure
Mhm.
that everybody is, up to speed legally, so we ain't gotta worry about you taking no L, you know what I'm saying, for just trying to do what everybody else doing anyway. So yeah, that's next, man. Once I get that going, you know what I'm saying, that's something that I'll definitely be bringing to the forefront and letting everybody know, you know what I'm saying, how that works. So yeah,
You definitely
that's
got
I
to
know I'm
come back.
talking
You definitely
about
got to
that.
come back for that one.
oh
Got to
yeah, for
get you
sure.
back on when that's ready to go. Because yeah, that's definitely needed. So we
That's
got to signal
definitely.
boost that.
Yeah, for sure. So it's going to be overall basic firearms. There's going to be like two tiers: basic firearm training for those who are new and just learn how to handle, break down, clean,
Safety.
proper stance, safety, grip, and all that stuff. And then it'll go into more like tactical, like home defense. You know what I'm saying? Like what to look for, how to set your home up for certain, you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
certain invasions and stuff like that. So yeah, man, and that's something that I picked up just from a hobby, living different lifestyle, and I was around a lot of military brothers, so they had already groomed me as far as like how to put them together, and you know what I'm saying, how to build them and all that. So I was like, well, I need to make this legit. You know what I'm saying? Just like the
Right.
barber thing, I need to make this legit. Let me go ahead and get the right credentials So I ain't got to worry about nobody running up on me. And then ultimately, I can help my people out. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
And so, what
So,
about that aspect of it, like teaching the laws around weapons and firearms and all of that, and the insurance and all of that? You're gonna be giving those kind of instructions as well.
oh yeah, that's the foundation of the courses is knowing how to maneuver around the laws and all of that. The class that I took, it was like 9 month course. So I mean, I got a little bit of everything. It was more of that side than actually hands-on building. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Because once you learn how to do that, then it's just kind of like cutting hair. It's repetition. The more you do it, the better you become. But the laws is something that we really had to study and really had to, go through with a fine tooth comb, especially being in California. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the laws and just, how to move, how to store, how to, all that will be elementary. That's where we're gonna start. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Love it,
definitely, bro. Definitely.
love it, love it. But let people know where they can tune into the podcast and all of that stuff.
Well, every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on YouTube is at the Real Ops Podcast. So just how it sounds, the Real Ops, OPPS, Real Ops Podcast, usually air every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And try to keep those good thoughts, what I'm saying, rolling and try to give some impact.
Make sure
That's
y'all
basically,
subscribe. Make sure y'all go over there and subscribe at
yeah,
the
y'all,
Real
y'all
Ops Podcast.
Y'all subscribe, and if you ever in the Anaheim area, or if you even in LA, like Nicey was saying, I'm not too far from LA. If you in LA and you looking for somebody to get you right, man, even if it's not me, it's my partner. You're gonna come to the spot. You're gonna get some game. You're gonna get some, some food for the soul to take with you, and you're gonna leave looking fresh. You know what I'm saying? So definitely tap in. And the barbershop, if you on Instagram, the barbershop is Smith and Robinson Exquisite Cuts. Smith and Robinson Exquisite Cuts. And before I go, I'll leave a phone number for y'all to tap in for those who may not be on the IG. But
yeah, let me put that in the chat right now. Go ahead and say the phone number. I'll type that in there right now.
it's 714
714
406 2296.
All right.
It says here, got that at the bottom on the banner. Check out the banner. Make sure you guys are following our good brother on Instagram, the Real Ops Podcast on Instagram, as well as double.rr. What else? I can't
Blend.
see. Blend. There you go. Double.rr blend on Instagram as well.
Oh yeah. double.r.blend
Mm-hmm.
on Instagram.
Double R.
And yo, man, so yeah, man. Appreciate you coming through, man, being our first guest on the new season of the Black Business Showcase. I knew you was gonna come with some good game and all of that, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm inspired by your story, you know what I'm saying, and everything that you got going on. Can't wait to see, everything that you got coming with the gunsmithing and all of that as well. And we'd love to have you back on, man.
For
Oh
sure.
man,
For sure. And I'm
I
definitely down with
appreciate it. I'll definitely be letting y'all know once I get that thing off the ground because I want people to inquire and take part in that. That's something I feel like we all need. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to use them tools.
Absolutely. And Redstone Firearms has closed down. And unfortunately, our sister, Geneva Solomon, passed away in
RP.
October. Yeah. And so we don't have a Black owned firearms shop anymore here. I definitely know several people within the gun community right here in LA that would definitely love your services. So keep me updated, keep me posted.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. As I said, we got to signal boost that one because
For
that is
sure.
needed. But nice to you have been a while, but you know how we end the Black Business Showcase, don't you?
Yes.
You still
I
remember?
wanted their double R cheat. Royce, what does freedom and power mean to you?
Freedom and power. That's a good one. Freedom. I'll start with freedom. Freedom to me is having the ability to think for yourself and operate, you know what I'm saying, in your own righteous nature. To me, that's freedom, to where you can, you can move around and you can operate through life without being restricted by, some of the systems and stuff that's put in place. To me, that's true freedom, to where you have your own time and you can pretty much do what you need to do with your time to sustain yourself and, family. And as far as power goes, power is knowing what to do with your time and knowing how to make the most out of your time and knowing how to, uplift others and, have an overall lasting impact. Because a lot of people, I feel like they associate power with title. You know what I'm saying? And you can have the title and not have the tools. Because I've been in a lot of jobs where, where people had a title of this, but then they were coming to the people up under them to get the actual tools. And you know what I'm saying? What's going on, brother? But they was coming to people up under them to get the actual tools that they needed to pretty much sustain their title. So I feel like that's definitely where the power lies, is having the tools and the know-how to, to be able to do those things for yourself. And I feel like we living in the times where everybody needs to be self-sufficient and everybody needs to, act on their freedoms and act on their powers, regardless how limited and, or powerful they may be. And that's the best way I can sum that up for myself.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And so lastly, man, I got to put you up here on the Summer Jam screen. Oh, I did that wrong.
You did that wrong. There you go. There you
Boom.
go.
There you go. And so right now you got the microphone. The entire Black community is listening. What parting words would you like to leave us with tonight?
You want to sit down?
I would just like to say, as a people and as a community, like, I don't really know what else needs to go on or what else we need to see before we actually, come together and do what's been long awaited, man. Like, there's endless power in our unity. And until we truly unite and until we truly change the thought process of, being in competition with one another, and we truly unite and we build, then we can't really complain about the condition that some of us may be in. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's long overdue. The world everything is under the microscope right now. Everything is being exposed. And if we don't come together immediately, then there's nothing to complain about. You can't complain. You can't point the finger. Like Nicey said, we're doomed. You know what I'm saying? It's just that serious. Like, we're doomed. If we don't come together immediately, then we doomed. You know what I'm saying? And that's in all realms. That's in the business realm. That's in the community. That's in all aspects. Financially, we gotta pool our resources together, and we gotta make the most out of what we've already created. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times we lose sight of just how much our hands have been on the world. Period. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my words to the community. It's time. And I know that might be cliche, but there's no other time greater than the other. If we don't get together right now and unite, then we doomed. You know what I'm saying? And the world is showing it day by day. We've only been into the year, 9 days?
Right.
We've only been in the year 9 days. And we already see, especially being out here in California, we already see what's going on. And to me, everything is part of a bigger plan. And if we can't see that and we don't understand that, then, and one last thing, I got to be honest, everybody ain't going to make it.
Nope.
Some of us stay where you at because we ain't got no time for no sellouts, for no cornballs. We
None
need
of that.
soldiers, we need kings, and we need queens.
Yep.
And if you don't fall up into that category, then go ahead
Over
and
there.
just dilute yourself all the way until you accept it somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't have no setbacks. It's too serious. It's too serious.
That's real
Agreed.
talk, man.
I concur.
That's real talk, man. And so yeah, we all we got, and that's all we need. And everybody can't go.
Everybody
can't go.
Everybody
can't go. Everybody don't fit.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
So again, man, appreciate you coming on. Appreciate everybody tapping in with us. This has been another episode of the Black Business Showcase. Nicely and I will be back on Sunday with our regular broadcast. We're gonna chop it up about, all the madness. The year starting off crazy already. We're gonna be with y'all on Sunday to chop it up about everything that's going on. And we'll be back next week with the next episode of the Black Business Showcase. So y'all stay tuned.
Yep.
That being said, we out of here, family. Always remember, we are not the master teachers, but we are the master students and signal boosters for the voices of the new Black media. Peace and Black love.
I'm getting my hair done tomorrow, y'all. So I won't be late.
Yeah, like that. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen.